Hey everybody, welcome to another Flea Market Finds episode. This is what I like to call my odds and sods type of episode. Every once in a while I'll do an odds and sods video, and that's basically, it's going to be stuff that's either from like a one-off picks where, I just happen to buy like a one item or something like that off of Facebook, or oftentimes, as is the case with this, it's stuff that I've got here in the shop that I know that I purchased at the flea market or wherever, and I might not remember exactly when it was or what I paid for it or whatever. So it's kind of a catch-all type of thing. So let's start with this stuff here, which I do know I picked this at the outdoor flea market, and I do know that it was before August of 2023, so probably July. And what I've got is exactly what everything I bought from this guy, that he had all of this Hercules stuff, which is, Hercules is one of the brands that Harbor Freight sells. Now, Harbor Freight has, I believe they still sell the brand name Bauer. And then I think there's even maybe another brand. I think there was actually like 3 versions of like electric tools they sell. And it's like cheap, cheaper and cheapest. And the Hercules is, I believe, their top line as far as cordless tools go. Now, I've never owned an electric cordless ratchet before, and I had often thought of picking one up, getting around to eventually buying one. And my intention was to either buy new Milwaukee or see if I could get a deal on a good used Milwaukee one. And I was going to try and find the newer version, which is the brushless motors. And then I just happened to come across this guy who had this stuff, and I was looking at what he had here, and I was asking him about it, and I said, well, how much if I take all of it? And he gave me some like ridiculous price of like $25 for everything. It was 25 or 40 at the most. I mean, it was just, I was like, boy, does it work? And I think one of the batteries had a charge in it, so it seemed like that worked. So I was like, all right, so let's see what I got. I got a 1/4-inch drive cordless ratchet. Works perfect. It actually looks like it hasn't seen a lot of use. A 3/8 drive cordless ratchet, which is a little dirtier, and I've actually used this several times already, and I'm very happy with the performance of this thing. And the batteries actually have the built-in level meter, charge indicator, which is kind of nice. Just like my DeWalt. So there were 2 used 12-volt batteries. Then he had 2 brand new 12-volt batteries still in the package. And then he had kind of a mystery. He had 2 chargers and this one battery. Now this is a 20-volt battery. So this battery will not work on these 12-volt devices. So this would have been off of a larger drill or an impact or something. So I asked him about it, and he said this is all he got. So no chance that it was like he had more stuff at home he forgot about or whatever. This was probably a clean out situation. This is what he ended up with. So I got the 20-volt battery. I looked at the chargers, and I realized both chargers are actual dual 20-volt and 12-volt. So even though these are different size mounts, they both will go on to these chargers. So this charger is designed so it can actually do a 12 or a 20 volt. Automatically senses what you put on there and charges them. And he had this dual charger. Okay, same thing. 20/12 volt. So I ended up liking those ratchets so much that I got to thinking, gee, since I've got a 20-volt battery and it appears to take a charge, even though it's only a 2.5 amp hour battery, maybe I should buy myself a cordless impact of the same name, Hercules. But I had no idea how old or new these were. So just to be sure, I actually took this battery with me to the store, went right over to the display of impacts, and put this battery on one of the impacts, and it worked perfectly fine. So I realized that this is the current 20-volt battery that they're using on the impacts. And sure enough, they sell the impacts as a bare tool. So you can buy this as just the tool with no batteries, no charger for less money. I ended up opting to go for the 3/4 inch drive one. And the reason why I held out for the 3/4 inch was because the 3/4 inch actually has a little bit higher torque rating than the 1/2 inch. I do have some 3/4 inch impact sockets, which is great for those really big nuts and bolts, like on, you know, tractor wheels, stuff, rear wheels on the backhoe, that kind of thing. I was able to use my 20% off store-wide coupon on that sucker because I hadn't bought anything from Harbor Freight in so long. They sent me a please come back and buy from us coupon. Got that for the 20% off. I had to get a rain check and come back for it because they weren't in stock when I went to my local Harbor Freight. But if that wasn't great enough, they were running a promotion. You get a free battery with the purchase. So I got this 5 amp hour battery, which I think is like 65 or 75 bucks in their store, thrown in for free. And that'll work perfectly fine on these chargers. So I apparently now I'm a Harbor Freight fan, or more specifically a Hercules tool fan. I'm going to probably do a review on that. I'm going to do a review on that impact in a separate video. All right, next up I got this pile of stuff here. Again, pretty sure this is all from the outdoor flea market back in August. Don't remember exactly what I paid for this stuff. Here's a nice set of 750A Brown and Sharp V-blocks. So I believe this is the smallest size in the 750 series. And it's got the 2 clamps in there and the 2 blocks, and they fit in there nice. And they're in great shape. Don't remember what I paid for that. Here's a Starrett 278 with a clamp. This doesn't look like a Starrett clamp. It actually looks like another Brown and Sharp clamp, oddly enough. But it fits okay, so that's all right. Then here's a nice 750B Brown and Sharp V-block with what appears to be the original clamp. And then this one I think I got separately. Well, actually that's another 750B, but I think I bought this actually the same day from somebody else. And the reason why I think that is because this is a 750B that's marked on the bottom, and this is a 750B that's marked on the side. So they're a different date of manufacture on those. Here's a nice small hole gauge set. I think these might be. Are these Mitutoyo? So these are just marked Japan PII. So I do not know who the manufacturer is on these. Here is just some DeWalt grinding discs. Usually when I see these name brand ones like this, I usually end up buying these when I can get them for like $2 a piece. And there's 3 in here, so I'd be willing to bet that I probably offered 5. Got them for 5. This, hold on, let's start with this. This is an SPI center line gauge is what it says. But what this is, so let me get these out and give you a demonstration quickly. There's a little tiny Allen wrench in there. I don't want to lose that. I'll just take one out. The Allen wrench is for the set screws here. So what these are these are accessories for the jaws on your dial calipers. So what you do, you take your dial calipers, you clamp these on like so, okay? And then you can actually use these on, use your dial calipers to maybe, for instance, check the distance between two holes like that, okay? If I had the other jar on there, you would get the idea. Israel on here, so I know that this is going to be a Noga or a Vargas telescopic deburring tool. Here's an Indicol style clamp on, and it's a genuine Indicol 178. It says so right there. The 178 model number indicates that this is for a 1 7/8 inch spindle diameter on a milling machine, which is typically the J-head Bridgeport. So this would clamp right onto your spindle on your mill, and then this is missing the piece that goes right here that would allow you to clamp on your indicator, and then you can spin this around. So this had they had a price of $25 on it, which is a lot considering it's missing this piece. I probably bundled this together. I'm noticing there's a few other pieces here that have prices on it. Like this has got a price of $30 on it. SPI. What it is it's a nice Acme screw pitch gauge. It's like brand new. So it looks just like, the typical screw pitch gauges you've probably seen me show before. Starretts and Brown and Sharps and whatnots. But this is for some pretty large Acme threads. So this is like the threads on your feed screws on your milling machines and lathes and things like that. These are locating buttons. Oh, okay, so these are tool makers buttons, genuine Starrett ones. I love that these have the case hardening finish on the base on these, and it's in great shape. And this is also a larger set. I've had quite a few of these in the past, and they're usually not as large in diameter as these. So this must be, I don't know what number or letter this is. Yeah, this is a 494C. I think, yeah, this is a 494C, and I think they went all the way up to D on these. Come across these little vice stops all the time. They're handy. This just clamps right on top of this clamps right on the top edge of the jaw on your milling machine vise and gives you a quick little stop. Got some 1, 2, 3 blocks here. These appear to be a pair. Yep. A few nicks here and there, but otherwise decent shape. And okay, that's a nice pair. And then this is a Lone Wolf, which has got quite a bit more wear on it. Here's a Noga mag base for your indicators. The Nogas are well known. They're loved by many. The Noga's claim to fame is this one knob that you loosen, which frees up this joint and this joint and this joint. So we got a swivel joint here, a joint here, and then a swivel joint in the bottom. So this gives you like really good versatility for placement. And then once you get it close to where you need it, you tighten the knob. And when you tighten the knob, it fixes this joint, and this joint, which is fantastic. This guy had $50 on this. That's not a bad price if you're buying it for yourself, and if it wasn't for the fact that it's actually missing. Let me flip this over. This is upside down. So your drop style indicator could go in here in this hole, or your dovetail on your dial test indicator could go right here on this dovetail. So this is spring loaded and swivels. And the way this is supposed to work by design, there's supposed to be a thumb screw that goes in here. And when you turn the thumb screw in, it will adjust this. So this is your fine adjust once you get it close. And it's missing that thumb screw. Next up is whatever's in this box, which I don't even remember anymore. Like Christmas all over again. Oh yeah, okay. So this is a tachometer that I thought was kind of cool looking. Well, I could certainly see why I really liked this tachometer when I picked it up. It's very heavy duty. This is all metal, the case on this thing. It's got this nice finish on it. Just seems really well built. Even the range knob just feels, it's got a nice positive feeling to it when it clicks in. It does appear to be working perfectly fine. There's a lock button that allows you to lock it at 0 when not in use for storage. Seems to be working. It says venture here, but then I just looked it up and it turns out down here in small print it actually has the company name. And this is the first tachometer I've ever had from this company, made in England. It's the ATH4, made in England, by the Smith Industries Corporation, or Smith Industries. Yeah, hi.
Yeah, Green Energy Group, how are you doing today?
Listen. So the bad news is that it's missing the wheel that goes right here for doing surface feet per minute. It's actually had, apparently, it came with either a metric wheel or a footage wheel. But I don't have either wheel. Doesn't mean it's useless. I could still use this probe. So, for instance, I could use it on a drill chuck or something like that, or on a lathe. All right, but yeah, that definitely hurts the value not having the wheel in there. Next up is this thing here. This I'm pretty sure I did buy in an estate sale, and I'm not sure why, but for whatever reason I don't think I included it in the video for that sale, and might be because I put it right over on my milling machine because I didn't want to sell it. I wanted to keep it. And the reason why I wanted to keep it is because it's a handy thing that I do not have one of, and I've actually never seen this before until now. And no, this is not a finger exercising device, although that would actually work really well. What this is a keeper for your parallels. So if the jaw is open, you would plop this down in there and you'd put your parallels behind this. And then as you clamp down on your part, the parallels wouldn't want to fall over because this is keeping them upright, and it's also able to close down and also open up. So kind of neat. I found these online by some company, blue, just like this one, and I forgot the name of the company. Oh, here it is. It's right here. Precise Machines Company. And there's a phone number and a P.O. box. And looks like it's in La Luz, New Mexico. Anyways, that particular company, I think I still found these online, and they're not cheap. They're like 40 or 50 bucks. And then there's also, I think, a knockoff cheaper version you can buy. All right, we're coming down to the wire here. Here's a transfer punch set. How do I know that? It says transfer punch sets. I bought a few of these over the years. Don't pay a lot for them. They're not that expensive new, especially the cheaper import ones. This one here, it's a little bit different. Most of the ones that I buy, they just have that 2-tier metal stamped base to hold the punches. This is a plastic base that's, for whatever reason, it's got a kind of an elaborate, I guess it's a little bit of weight in there maybe. It'd be great if I opened this up and it had gold coins in it. But anyways, that's a little bit different version. Who cares? This is a Mitsubishi GWCW2. And then it also says GW, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. All right, so this clearly is to go in a tool holder, right? And I think I got this with it. So this, yeah, it's a Mitsubishi GWB32NA2. Okay, so yeah, so this is a grooving tool or parting tool. It uses these inserts. So there's what's left of one insert in there. This is rubbed quite a bit. It's really torn up there. But I could always put another one on this side. So it's interesting to me that this says A with the arrow pointing that way, A with the arrow pointing that way. And if you flip it over, it's B and B. And then on the holder, there is A with the arrow pointing this way, and B with it pointing this way. There's also these little gaskets, these rubber O-rings in there to make a seal. I thought, well, you know, would that be for through coolant? But yeah, maybe. So there's a screw in there that probably closes off that port, and so that right now it's set up to use this port, right? And so then but how's that coolant going to get anywhere? Oh, wow. There's a tiny hole right there. So there must be a channel inside this. Just look how thin this is. And somehow they must have made this. Yep. There's one on that end too. So this is a through coolant deal. Well, I was able to find inserts for this parting blade on Carbide Depot, and they're about 12 bucks and change a piece, and minimum order is 10. So I'm never going to get around to buying them, so I guess I'll just resell this thing. Apparently this holder alone, if you were to buy it new today, is like almost $300. And the final little item here in this Odds and Sods video is an unusual little screw jack that I picked up. So this right here is a 190. This is the most common screw jack you tend to find. There is a rarer, less common variation of this, which is the 190F. The 190F is identical to this in every way except it will have finer threads here. Okay. This little guy right here is the 191. So the 191 obviously doesn't have the same range. It's for smaller areas, right? And the big difference is the diameter of the base. This is 1 1/4 inch diameter, and this is 1 inch diameter. These are both still in the current Starrett catalog. This little guy perplexes me because it has some of the, you know, ear markings of a commercial made like Starrett screw jack, but it's very unusual size. It's actually, by the looks of it, 3/4 inch diameter base. Okay, the design in the bottom, you can see it's different, the way it's just got this slight relief instead of just being completely bored out, right? It also has this locking screw. So this little screw right here, this little thumb wheel, you can lock down, right? Keep that from moving. Just has, instead of having a swivel pad on the top like this, or just coming to a sharp point, it's got this just like dull point. But if this is homemade, somebody did a great job on it. It looks like they've case hardened the base to give it that nice finish that you tend to see on a lot of these older Starrett tools. And the knurling is great. There's no, I don't see any defects in the knurling job. Somebody took their time with this. My only regret is that there isn't a pair of these. It would have been sweet to have a little pair of these. I probably would have kept them for myself just because I think they're kind of neat. And I did check my early Starrett catalog, and the early Starrett catalog only shows the 190 and the 191. And it explains down here that the 190 and The 191 difference is the dimensions. Otherwise, they're identical. All right, we're going to call this video a wrap right here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you're not already a subscriber, please consider subscribing and sharing the video. Take care.